Good afternoon, folks. Ari here from Direct Auto Outlet in Fair Oaks, California. This will be a test drive video of this gorgeous 2015 Ford Fusion Energi hybrid. Now, the Energi refers to this vehicle being a plug-in hybrid, and the difference between a plug-in hybrid is that it puts itself right in between a regular hybrid vehicle and a full electric vehicle. The way it works is you would plug in this vehicle just like a regular electric vehicle. However, once your range of approximately 20 miles runs out, you're not left in the cold and stranded on the road as you would be on, for example, a Tesla or another full electric vehicle. What happens is the vehicle does revert to being just a regular hybrid vehicle that just runs on gasoline, and it uses a battery pack to gain energy from its regenerative braking and stores that energy and allows you to be able to use hybrid assist to be able to get better fuel economy. This vehicle comes in three different versions. Comes in a EcoBoost, which is a non-hybrid version. It comes in a regular hybrid, which is essentially what this vehicle is after the first 20 miles of electric range, and then comes in a plug-in hybrid, which is what you see here. The plug-in hybrid version is my favorite version of the vehicle because it is ideal for those folks who have short commutes that go back and forth and are able to charge at their work as well as at their home. The plug-in port is right here on the driver's side fender, and you would just press that in, plug it in, and when you're done, you just push it closed. We do have a full walk around video of this vehicle, so do take the time to take a look at that video and be able to get some additional details. But this video will be focusing purely on the driving experience of this car, giving you our observations after getting back behind the wheel of this vehicle. We'll go ahead and start it up here using the push button start. We do have 149,830 miles on this vehicle. You do have the Microsoft Sync sound system, touchscreen navigation, pop up and tilt back moonroof. We'll go ahead and close this to prevent glare, and we'll go ahead and get started. Backup camera as soon as you pop the vehicle into reverse with trajectory showing your estimated path of travel. The Fusion Energi is a vehicle that is near and dear to my heart because I actually owned a 2013 version of this same vehicle that I recently sold, but during the beginning of the pandemic, when we were all paranoid about touching things and trying to keep our hands clean, I recall being able to drive to work on one full electric charge on the vehicle, be able to charge the vehicle while I'm at work, and be able to drive back home without using one drop of gasoline. I did that for several weeks and accumulated over 1,000 miles with that tank of fuel. The fuel tank capacity is just about 13 gallons, just a little bit over, so it gets very good fuel economy, and especially if you are able to plug in and maintain electric power, then this is one of the most fuel efficient and cost efficient vehicles that you could potentially ever own. One thing I love about this vehicle is it doesn't necessarily look like a hybrid or electric vehicle. Oftentimes when you're driving an electric or hybrid vehicle, there is a bit of a stigma to it. It is true that actually hybrids are not all created equal. If you're driving a Prius down the road, I didn't really believe this until I experienced it for myself, but if you're driving a Prius down the road, other drivers will oftentimes kind of treat you a little crummy. Prius drivers are known to be a little bit inconsiderate on the road as far as occupying the fast lane and not really being conscious of their surroundings, and other drivers do certainly take notice of that and kind of treat them rotten in return. But driving a Ford Fusion Energi such as this one, you don't have to worry about that. This vehicle is actually available in a non-hybrid. Nobody really knows that this is a hybrid version anyways. One beautiful thing about this vehicle, which I love, kind of some of the things I think of when I purchase a vehicle, being a car guy, is not only longevity and cost of ownership, but I also consider the reliability of a vehicle. And one thing I like about the hybrid versions of these, they are extremely reliable. The one that I sold that I was using myself, I had for a couple of years. I sold it with just under 190,000 miles on it, and it was incredible vehicle to own. It gave me minimal trouble, just regular maintenance, and I was extremely happy with it. The Achilles heel for most Ford vehicles are their automatic transmissions. Automatic transmissions are something that Ford has never done extremely well, and it is something that they struggle with. The reason that that's not the case with the hybrid and with the Energi hybrid models is that the transmission is actually the electric motor on these. They have about approximately 70% less moving parts versus the non-hybrid, and the electric motor / transmission on these are much more reliable than a conventional 5-speed, 6-speed, 7-speed automatic transmission. The non-hybrid version of this vehicle is known for transmission problems. The hybrid version is not. That combined with the overall 40+ miles per gallon fuel economy potential on these makes this vehicle one of the biggest no-brainers in the history of mankind. Another thing that I loved about my particular one that I find to be the same on this one, even more so, is that comfort on it is extremely high. Very comfortable vehicle all the way around. The seating position, the way the seats are actually positioned, the bolstering on the sides is extremely comfortable in this vehicle. It's a vehicle you could drive for hours and hours and not experience fatigue. The position where you would lay your elbows on the door panel as well as the center console is also very good. Extremely comfortable vehicle. You have heated seats in this one as well as cooled seats, dual cup holders right down over here. Your center console does hold a 12-volt power outlet slot right there, and also does have 2 USBs as well as memory card slot and a slot for your pen. This vehicle is equipped with an electronic parking brake, so you would just pull up or down on this to release the parking brake. You do have full electric mode by pressing that button over there, and downhill descent, so you can press that and it's kind of like putting your vehicle in low gear. It'll help you slow down going down a hill. You do also have all of your pertinent buttons right here on the steering wheel as well for your cruise control, your radar cruise control, which you can choose and select how much distance you can have with the vehicle in front of you, and your media system controls over here as well. Automatic headlights. Another great feature on the titanium model, which my SE did not have, is the automatic high beams. Once you get down to a dark road where you are not in the presence of any vehicles in front of you, whether you are driving behind them or they are driving ahead of you coming towards you, the high beams will automatically engage. When that is not the case and you are not inconveniencing any of the other drivers, and it will allow for additional lighting. You also have the rain sensing windshield wipers as well. Some of these features are not something that you really even think about, but having them is absolutely a huge perk. Once you get used to having them, you really can't go without. Map lighting throughout they work great, and you also have a sunglass holder up there as well. Acceleration on the vehicle is quite smooth, a very comfortable vehicle to drive. Although this is a hybrid vehicle, you don't really feel like you are lacking any get up and go or power. Cruising down at 45 miles per hour right now, you feel like if you were to stomp on the gas, you do have power to be able to get up and get out of your way, get out of the way of others. Currently, I am averaging 41.6 miles per gallon. That is actually a combination of the last 2,660 miles. So it was not reset by me, but it was reset by the previous owner, who is averaging over 41 miles to the gallon on the last 2,000 miles of driving. That is great. Fantastic to see. Very fuel efficient vehicle. It's not an average that you gain just over a short test drive. That is a long-term fuel economy that you see there. also a very quiet vehicle driving inside of it. You don't hear a whole lot of road noise. You don't hear any wind whistling from the windows. Quite stable and stout vehicle. You're going just about 60 miles per hour right now, but in my Fusion Energi, I've had it at pretty much every speed the vehicle can go, and the vehicle is confident. It handles very well. Brakes are very smooth. Unlike a lot of hybrid vehicles where the brakes take a lot of getting used to, it's not really the case with this one. It is much easier to adapt to. It feels much more like a real conventional, regular, non-hybrid vehicle. As you can see, acceleration comes on quick, not a whole lot of noise. Unlike some of the older vehicles that were hybrids, this one doesn't take a whole lot of effort to get up to highway speeds in it. You also have a lot of the driver's assist features, such as the lane keep assist, the forward collision warnings. So a lot of the modern safety features that you find in new cars were just starting out to become available. And the titanium model with all the driver assist options checked off the list, such as this one, gave you all of those options. So as far as airbags are concerned and driver's assistance options are concerned, this one pretty much does check all of the lists. Now, I hate to just speak only positively about any vehicle. I always try to give an objective opinion and give you the goods, the bads, the ugly, but there isn't really much I can fault with these. One thing that I find that Ford does struggle on is their climate control for their heat and AC. You set it on automatic, for example, you put it at 71. It is supposed to adjust the temperature and the fan speed, which it does. I just find it doesn't do it very well. Sometimes you can set it on 71, and depending on your atmosphere and your surroundings, you find that it is much too cold or much too hot, even when you keep it at a certain temperature. That's one thing that Ford doesn't do great. I just purchased a 2022 Ford Maverick, and it's really no better with that one. As a matter of fact, I think it's even worse. I will get us on a road shortly that will have a little bit additional twists and turns so that we can kind of demonstrate the handling and how the vehicle performs in conditions other than just a straight line, which is what we're showing you right now. But did want to take the additional time and kind of giving you my opinions on the vehicle and my experiences with the one that I had. Now, the titanium model, which is the top of the line trim, gives you lots of bells and whistles that you didn't get with the SE. The SE base model came with just cloth seats, didn't have these driver safety options, did not have the upgraded Sony/Microsoft Sync sound system. Some of them did not even come with navigation. Didn't have the automatic high beams. Just a list of options that it didn't have. The most inconvenient of which was you actually had to get your key out of your pocket and put it in the ignition and turn it. Imagine that. We are so spoiled. But hey, you know, it's really nice having the key in your pocket and being able to just touch the doorknob to lock and unlock the door. Push button start is actually quite nice as well. The radar cruise, which the camera is placed right behind the rear view mirror there, is a great option to have, and it does allow you to be able to drive without having to worry about speeding up, slowing down, setting your cruise control all over again. It is quite nice. The vehicle is actually quite easy on the eyes as well. It's a very attractive vehicle. Get up to speed a little bit over here. Pretty much before you know it. Braking is quite nice on it as well. The instrument cluster does not flicker as you're seeing in the video here. That's just a effect that you get when you're recording an LED or LCD display. Another downside of this vehicle is the trunk space is a little bit limited. A lot of the hybrid components are located between the back seat and the trunk, And that is more so with the plug-in hybrid. The plug-in hybrid does take up even additional trunk space above and beyond the regular hybrid. So trunk space is a little bit limited. However, the rear seats do fold down. It is a 60-40 fold-down seating arrangement back there, and they do fold, giving you a little bit additional space, but it does still leave something to be desired. I recall going to Costco several times, and their cashier asking us if we'd like a box for our items, and whenever we were driving our Fusion Energi, we would always say no boxes required, because those boxes would cause our items not to fit in our trunk. We'd have to actually have the items loose in the trunk in order to be able to get everything to fit. Trunk space is a little tight. Alright guys, now for the twists and turns. The vehicle handles beautifully. Suspension is nice and tight. This vehicle actually invokes a lot of confidence in the driver. Very smooth and handles very well. It also has a very quiet regenerative braking and electric motor. When it is in EV mode, or when you are braking and you are charging using your regenerative braking, it's something that you barely notice. You really have to pay attention to even hear. That's something that's actually quite louder in my 2022 Ford Maverick Hybrid. 25 mile per hour turn. Going at over 40 miles per hour. Just takes it like a champ. Beautiful handling vehicle. Braking is nice and powerful on it as well. Side bolstering on the seats keep you firmly planted into your seat. And not even a chirp from the tires whatsoever. Very satisfying ride. There are many things that many vehicles do well, but there's very few vehicles that do everything quite well. And not to say that this is one of them. I would say the trunk space is a little lacking on this vehicle. So if you could only own one vehicle and you do find yourself needing tons of trunk space, that does rule this vehicle out. But you know, you could always utilize the rear seating area. You could always fold the seats down. Or if you have a larger vehicle you could use in a pinch, that's obviously something that would be available to some. But if that is not available to you, if that's not the case, then please do make sure that you are okay with the trunk space. Other than that, this is a very reliable vehicle. This particular one is very well taken care of. It's had 2 owners since brand new. It's a lifetime California vehicle, which means that you don't have to worry about road salt and corrosion and rust on the vehicle. We are blessed with conditions in California that allow the vehicles to keep up the integrity of the body, frame, and structure, because they are not rusting out. It's not driven in snow. It's not something that you have to worry about here. We are blessed in that sense. With the price of fuel in California easily exceeding $5 per gallon, and the price of everything else, including mechanical work, body work, and pretty much everything else going up, it's great to own a vehicle like this, because just in a few short years of fuel savings alone, this vehicle will pay for itself. And fuel efficient vehicles are increasingly appreciating and increasing in value. So these are becoming tougher and tougher for us to get our hands on. So if you are in the market for a vehicle, do your research, verify a lot of the things that we're putting out there, and come on down and take a look at it. Take it for a test drive. We're confident that you're going to be pleasantly surprised if this is a vehicle you've never experienced or driven in the past. Another item that I like here is the home link that's right up there on your sun visor. That allows you to be able to program up to 3 garage doors and be able to do without the remotes. You have a remote trunk latch release, which is right over there. Your fuel door release is that center button right over there. The sound system and the Sony upgraded sound package is fantastic. This is Bluetooth capable. You do have Bluetooth media as well, so you can connect to your phone wirelessly, get your telephone calls as well as your media and your music that way. Self-dimming rear view mirror. Just a great overall car. I own lots of cars and have owned many cars in my time, and the Fusion Hybrid, Fusion Energi, is definitely one that stands out for me. It's a vehicle I would personally highly recommend. You know, I give it just about as close as possible to a solid 10 out of 10 as you can with a vehicle, with only minor points taken away for trunk space and climate control accuracy. Now, if you are looking for a lighter color version, we also do have a 2015 with similar mileage. Also the titanium right ahead of you there. Priced the same as this one. Rear camera with trajectory again. Folks, I do want to thank you for taking the time to join us during this video. And do want to remind you to please leave your comments in the comment section. It really does help us improve. Let us know what we did well and what we need to improve upon. Also, make sure you hit the bell icon to be notified of all of our future videos. Do want to take this opportunity to thank you for taking the time to join us and watch our video, and we certainly do hope to see you down here at the lot soon. Thank you and have a great day.